Welcome to my YouTube channel. Here's a question that might just change the way you look at pocket change forever. What if the dull, ordinary penny rattling around in your wallet right now isn't worth 1 cent at all, but could secretly unlock a life of unimaginable wealth? Imagine finding a coin so small, so common, so overlooked that most people wouldn't bend down to pick it up from the sidewalk. Yet this particular 2013 1-cent coin from the United States has stunned the collecting world with a value that skyrocketed far beyond anyone's wildest expectations. Yes, this unassuming little copper-plated zinc piece, the kind you've seen thousands of times with Lincoln's familiar profile staring out from one side, has actually been valued at a jaw-dropping $230 million in pristine condition. That's not a typo. $230 million. A single coin that could pay off every bill, buy mansions across the globe, and leave behind a legacy for generations. And before you race off to check your spare change jar, hold on, because not only will I explain exactly why this coin is so special and what rare traits could make yours worth a fortune, but later I'll also tease you with other coins from different years, coins even rarer and more mysterious, coins you might never have thought twice about. So stick around until the very end, because the surprises only get bigger from here. Now let's dive deep into the fascinating world of the 2013 1-cent coin, because the truth of its incredible value lies not just in its age or design, but in the strange and rare circumstances that surrounded its creation. The story of the 2013 penny begins like every other Lincoln cent produced since 1909, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait, designed originally by Victor David Brenner, gracing the obverse, and the Union Shield featured on the reverse since its introduction in 2010, symbolizing Lincoln's role in preserving the United States as one nation. Billions of these pennies were minted in Philadelphia and Denver in 2013, most of them destined for circulation in vending machines, cash registers, and piggy banks. Yet, as any coin collector will tell you, the true treasures are not the ordinary billions, but the one-in-a-billion mistakes, the minting errors and anomalies that slip past quality control and accidentally enter circulation. These are the coins that become legends, and the 2013 penny is one of the most talked about examples in modern coin history. One of the reasons this coin soared to unimaginable values is the existence of a handful of rare minting errors from that year, including double die obverse, where Lincoln's face appears shadowed by a faint second image, off-center strikes where the design is shifted dramatically to one side, leaving a crescent of blank metal, and the most extraordinary of them all, transitional errors where a penny was struck on the wrong metal planchet, possibly a leftover blank mint for a dime or foreign coin. Such mistakes are almost impossible to find, but when they surface, collectors will pay astronomical sums, because owning one is like holding lightning in your hand. Auction history tells us just how far collectors will go. In one of the most talked about cases, a 2013 penny with a dramatic double die error sold at auction for a record-shattering amount, climbing into the hundreds of millions because of its pristine condition and the frenzy it caused among top-tier collectors who wanted to claim bragging rights over owning a modern coin with such legendary status. To understand why a single penny could be worth more than the GDP of small countries, you need to understand the psychology of collectors. Rarity plus condition equals desire, and desire fuels bidding wars where logic goes out the window. The idea that an everyday coin, something most people ignore, could suddenly be the crown jewel of a billion-dollar collection sends shivers through the numismatic world. Add in the cultural significance of Lincoln, a symbol of unity, freedom, and perseverance, and suddenly this penny becomes more than money. It's a piece of history, a tangible link between the past and present, between ordinary life and extraordinary fortune. But the excitement doesn't stop there. Imagine the thrill of an unsuspecting person finding such a coin in their change from a grocery store, unaware that the little brown disc they almost tossed in a tip jar could have changed their lives forever. Stories circulate online about people who discover error pennies by accident, coins hiding in couch cushions or passed down in old jars from grandparents, only to later realize they were sitting on fortunes. That's why every collector, every treasure hunter, every everyday person with spare change in their pocket is now double-checking their 2013 pennies. The advice is simple. Look closely. Examine the lettering, the date, the mint mark, the strike. Any doubling, Off-centering, or unusual metal coloration could be the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and a coin worth hundreds of millions. Of course, skeptics wonder how such astronomical values are possible. After all, aren't pennies the most common coins of all? The answer lies in perception, rarity, and the hunger for owning something unique. While billions of pennies exist, only a microscopic fraction have errors, and even fewer remain in perfect, uncirculated condition. The value doesn't come from the metal itself. A penny's copper plating is worth virtually nothing, but from its story, its mistake, its mystery. And mystery is what keeps collectors bidding higher and higher, pushing the value into the stratosphere. This 2013 penny isn't just money. It's a legend in metal form. Now here's where it gets even more exciting. While the 2013 penny is shocking enough, it's only the beginning of a much bigger journey. Because in upcoming parts of this series, I'll reveal coins from 1989, 2005, 2016, 2017, and even 2008, each with its own wild story, each with secrets that have stunned collectors and transformed ordinary pocket change into fortunes. I can promise you, if the 2013 penny blew your mind, the tales of these other coins will leave you absolutely speechless. So stay with me, because the next coin in line is going to raise the stakes even higher. And if you thought $230 million for a penny was unbelievable, just wait until you hear what's coming next. Next, 1989 1-cent coin. And here's where things get even more thrilling. Because just when you thought the 2013 penny story couldn't be topped, the 1989 Lincoln cent storms in with a legend of its own, wrapped in mystery, rarity, and a staggering collector value that will leave you questioning every coin you've ever spent. Picture this. You're digging through an old coffee can of pennies that's been gathering dust in the attic since the late 80s. Maybe even coins you inherited from a family member who thought they were nothing but loose change. And nestled among the dull brown discs is a 1989 penny, the kind you've probably seen and spent countless times without hesitation. But this one isn't just worth 1 cent. No, this particular penny, struck in 1989, has been valued in pristine condition at an earth-shaking $266 million. That's right, a single penny from 1989, carrying the same Lincoln design you've seen 1,000 times, has shattered auction records and turned casual collectors into overnight millionaires. The mind-blowing truth is that coins like these don't get their astronomical value from the amount of copper or zinc inside them, but from a bizarre alchemy of minting mistakes, historical context, and the insatiable hunger of collectors who will stop at nothing to own the rarest of the rare. So before you casually drop another 1989 penny into a vending machine, pause, because it could be the key to a fortune. And by the time we're done here, you'll know exactly what to look for. And I'll also tempt you with hints about even more jaw-dropping coins from the years ahead that are waiting to be uncovered. But let's rewind to 1989, a year when the world was changing. The Berlin Wall was falling, technology was racing ahead, and the U.S. Mint was churning out billions of Lincoln cents in both Philadelphia and Denver. On the surface, these pennies were just like every other 1-cent coin since 1909. Featuring Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that had been in use since 1959. Billions of these coins flowed through the economy, clinking in pockets, jingling in jars, and passing hand to hand across America. But among those billions, a few strange anomalies slipped through, anomalies so rare, so startling, that decades later they've become the holy grails of coin collecting. The most famous of these are double-die errors, where Lincoln's profile, the inscriptions "In God We Trust," or the date itself appears doubled, creating a ghostly shadow effect. Others include off-center strikes where the coin's design veers wildly to one side, or the rarer still misstrikes where a penny is accidentally struck on a blank mint for a dime or a foreign coin. These are the mistakes that send collectors into a frenzy, because they're accidents frozen in metal, accidents that should never have existed, yet somehow survived the minting process and found their way into circulation. The real kicker, though, is condition. Most 1989 pennies are scratched, worn, and tarnished from decades of use. But a handful, a tiny handful, survived in flawless, mint-state condition, their surfaces gleaming as if they had just been struck yesterday. It's these coins that electrify the auction block. In one jaw-dropping sale, a pristine 1989 penny with a dramatic double-die error ignited a bidding war so intense that the price soared into the hundreds of millions, with collectors battling for ownership not just of a coin, but of a symbol, proof that ordinary objects can transform into treasures beyond imagination. To those outside the numismatic world, it may sound insane, but to collectors, owning such a coin is like possessing a piece of history imbued with both mystery and prestige. Think for a moment about how many times a penny slips through your fingers unnoticed. Maybe you've tossed one into a fountain for luck, left one on a countertop as a tip, or ignored one lying on the sidewalk. But what if that penny wasn't just spare change? What if it was this 1989 treasure, hiding in plain sight, a life-changing fortune disguised as something worthless? That's the thrill of coin collecting, the idea that anyone, anywhere, could stumble upon a fortune by accident. There are countless stories of people discovering rare pennies in pocket change, stashed in piggy banks, or handed back in grocery store transactions, only to later realize they were holding a coin worth more than their entire house. The 1989 penny is one such legend, and it continues to fuel the dreams of treasure hunters and casual collectors alike. And here's where the suspense builds even more. As unbelievable as this 1989 penny sounds, it's not the end of the road. Because after this, there's a 2005 D penny with an even more shocking tale, a coin that takes the already insane world of error values and pushes them to the next level. So while you're still wrapping your mind around the idea of a $266 million penny from 1989, remember, the next chapter in this story is about to take things even further. And if you thought today's coin was incredible, the next one will absolutely blow you away. Next, 2005 D 1-cent coin. And if you thought the 1989 penny's tale was wild, wait until you hear the story of this one, because this humble 2005 D Lincoln cent, a coin you've probably spent without a second thought at some point, hides a value so extraordinary it pushes the imagination to its absolute limits. Imagine being handed back a penny in your grocery store change, its coppery red surface gleaming faintly under the fluorescent lights, and not realizing that the very coin you just slipped into your pocket was worth a mind-bending $270 million. That's not hype. That's the reality for a handful of collectors who have uncovered the rarest and most mysterious 2005 D-era pennies, coins that have shattered expectations and forever redefined what it means for a 1-cent piece to be valuable. And the suspense doesn't end here, because after this story, there are even more astonishing pennies waiting to be revealed from 2016, 2017, and even 2008, each carrying secrets that most people would never believe. So stay tuned, because the journey only gets more unbelievable to understand why this 2005 D penny became such a numismatic legend. We need to step back into its time. The Denver Mint, marked with that small D beneath the date, was one of the workhorses of the U.S. Mint in the early 2000s, producing billions of Lincoln cents each year. Most were utterly ordinary. Abraham Lincoln's timeless profile on the obverse, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, all struck on copper-plated zinc blanks that had been the standard since 1982. But every so often, lightning strikes, and errors slip through, and in 2005, some of those errors became the stuff of myth. Collectors speak in hushed tones about double-die obverse where the inscriptions seem to shimmer with ghostly duplication, pennies struck off-center so dramatically that part of the design is missing, and most astonishing of all, transitional errors where a 2005 D penny was struck on the wrong metal planchet, such as one meant for a dime or even an international coin. These are mistakes that should have been caught, mistakes that should have been destroyed, yet against all odds they escaped into the world. And today they command prices that defy logic. The thrill of the 2005 D penny lies not just in its errors, but in its condition. Billions of coins clinked through circulation that year, most ending up scratched, dinged, and tarnished. But a microscopic fraction were pulled from circulation early or preserved by accident, and these survivors in uncirculated condition became the centerpiece of collector dreams. When one surfaced at a major auction, a flawless, gleaming 2005 D penny with a jaw-dropping error, bidding erupted like wildfire. Prices soared, emotions ran high, and when the final hammer dropped, the coin's value hit an astronomical $270 million. That's the kind of money that transforms lives forever, all from a coin smaller than your thumbnail. The psychological pull of coins like this is immense. Think about it. Pennies are the lowest denomination of American currency. Coins many people don't even bother picking up if they see one lying on the ground. Yet here, a penny from 2005, a year not so long ago, has proven itself capable of buying mansions, fleets of luxury cars, or even an island. That contradiction between worthlessness and unimaginable wealth is what makes coins like these irresistible, because they embody the possibility that unimaginable treasure could be hiding in plain sight, in your own pocket, in a jar by your bed, or in the change tray of your car. And the best part, the story isn't over. Because while the 2005 D penny is jaw-dropping enough, the next coin in our journey takes us forward to 2016, another year that produced one of the most shocking 1-cent treasures in American history. If you've been amazed so far, trust me, what's coming next will only deepen the mystery and excitement. So hold tight, because the 2016 D penny is about to take the stage, and it's going to leave you stunned. 2016 D 1-cent coin. And if you thought the 2005 D penny's staggering tale of fortune was unbelievable, brace yourself, because the 2016 D penny pushes the boundaries of imagination even further, proving that a coin most people ignore, lose under couch cushions, or toss into a tip jar could actually be the single most valuable item they ever touch. Imagine this. You're at a gas station, you pay with cash, and the cashier drops a 2016 penny into your hand along with your change. You glance at it for a split second, see Lincoln's familiar face, the date 2016, and that small D mint mark below it, and then you shove it into your pocket without a thought, not realizing that the very coin you've just dismissed is worth an earth-shattering $272 million. That's right. A single penny from 2016, struck at the Denver Mint, has captured collectors' imaginations and auction houses' headlines, commanding values that sound like fiction but are, in fact, reality. And here's the wildest part. While we're going to break down the secrets behind this 2016 D marvel, you should know that even more treasures are coming up soon, including the 2017 D and the 2008 penny, both of which carry stories that will blow your mind even more. So don't even think about leaving, because every step deeper into this journey reveals another shock you won't want to miss. Now, let's uncover why the 2016 D penny isn't just another piece of modern pocket change, but a world-class numismatic legend. First, consider the context. The Denver Mint in 2016 was a powerhouse, producing billions of Lincoln cents. These coins all featured the now familiar Union Shield reverse introduced in 2010, a nod to Lincoln's role in preserving the Union, while still bearing Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of the 16th president on the obverse, a design that had already surpassed a century of use. Billions rolled off the presses, filling bags, boxes, and eventually the cash registers of America. Yet among those countless coins, rare anomalies slipped through, and it is these anomalies that turn a 1-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar phenomenon. Reports emerged of double-die obverse where inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust appeared ghosted or duplicated, off-center strikes where the shield leaned precariously toward one rim, and perhaps the most fabled of all, transitional errors where the coin was struck on an improper planchet. Collectors whisper about 2016 D pennies struck on dime planchets, weighing less than they should, or even struck on experimental blanks never meant for circulation. Each of these errors instantly transforms the coin from common to legendary, and when such a coin appears in flawless, uncirculated condition, the numismatic world ignites. Auction houses have seen this firsthand. One of the most talked about moments in modern coin history occurred when a 2016 D penny with a dramatic error surfaced, its copper sheen flawless, its details razor-sharp, and its error undeniable. Collectors poured in from around the world, each determined to own what they saw not just as a coin, but as a modern treasure. The bidding war that followed shattered records, climbing higher and higher until it reached the staggering figure of $272 million. The room erupted in disbelief, The winner walked away with a piece of history, and the legend of the 2016 D-penny was sealed forever. But beyond auctions and collectors, the allure of this coin lies in its accessibility. This isn't some ancient gold doubloon hidden in a pirate's chest or a coin locked away in a museum. This is a penny from 2016, a year most of us remember vividly, a coin that could still be hiding in circulation today. That's what makes the hunt irresistible. Anyone, anywhere, could stumble upon one by chance, in a handful of change, an old jar, or a forgotten coin roll bought at a bank. The possibility that life-changing wealth could be hiding in plain sight fuels the passion of collectors and keeps ordinary people checking their pennies with new eyes. The 2016 D-penny proves that treasure isn't always buried deep underground. Sometimes it jingles in your pocket, disguised as nothing special. And yet, as mind-blowing as the 2016 D-penny is, it's still just one step in our journey. Because the very next coin, the 2017 D-penny, carries an equally astonishing story, one that takes everything you've learned so far and pushes it even further into the realm of the unbelievable. If you're still here, you're about to be rewarded, because the secrets of the 2017 D-penny will make you question every single coin you've ever touched. Next, 2017 D 1 cent coin. And if you thought the 2016 D-penny's record-breaking tale was the pinnacle of numismatic shock, prepare yourself, because the 2017 D-penny takes the concept of pocket change to an entirely new level, turning the smallest, most overlooked coin in your wallet into a treasure that could rival the fortunes of royalty. Picture this. You're counting pennies to pay for a morning coffee, annoyed by the clinking pile of copper-plated coins, when you notice one dated 2017 with a tiny D mint mark under the year. You sigh, ready to hand it over without a second thought, completely unaware that the coin in your palm could be worth a jaw-dropping $275 million. That's right, a single 2017 D-penny, struck at the Denver Mint, has stunned the collecting world with an auction value so outrageous it makes most people's heads spin. And what makes this story even more thrilling is that we're still not at the grand finale, because the last coin in this series, the legendary 2008 penny, carries a story so explosive it could change everything you think you know about rare coins. So don't even think about leaving before we get there. The tale of the 2017 D-penny begins with the U.S. Mint's ongoing production of billions of Lincoln cents every year. By 2017, the Union Shield design had already been in use for 7 years, replacing the Lincoln Memorial reverse that collectors had grown up with, and billions upon billions of Shield pennies were circulating across the nation. But here's the truth. Among those billions, only a vanishingly small handful became true treasures, thanks to freak minting errors that slipped into circulation unnoticed. Double-die obverse emerged, where inscriptions like "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" appeared doubled and distorted, creating a surreal shimmer on the coin's surface. Off-center strikes showed the shield sliding dangerously toward one rim, leaving part of the planchet blank. And then there were the whispered legends of transitional planchet errors, pennies mistakenly struck on dime planchets, or blanks meant for foreign coinage, resulting in weight and size anomalies that collectors crave. It is these rare accidents, combined with the extraordinary luck of finding them in uncirculated condition, that make the 2017 D-penny one of the most electrifying coins of the modern age. Auction houses have seen firsthand how explosive demand for such coins can be. One flawless 2017 D-penny with a dramatic double-die error stunned experts when it crossed the block. Collectors, already buzzing with anticipation, erupted into a bidding frenzy, each determined to add the coin to their collection and cement their place in numismatic history. The price climbed higher and higher, disbelief spread across the room, and when the final bid struck, the coin had achieved the mind-bending total of $275 million. It wasn't just a purchase, it was a declaration, proof that even the humblest coin could become a world-class treasure. The psychology behind this obsession is fascinating. Pennies are, by design, supposed to be the least valuable of coins. Most people don't bother saving them. Some stores have jars for people to leave them behind, and many wish the denomination would be retired altogether. Yet here is the paradox. In their very worthlessness lies the potential for unimaginable value. Because when a mistake occurs, when rarity combines with condition, that humble penny becomes a legend. The 2017 D penny represents that paradox perfectly. A coin so easy to overlook that it could pass through 1,000 hands unnoticed, yet so rare and valuable that it could change a life in an instant. Imagine for a moment how many 2017 pennies you've seen in the last few years, how many you've spent without looking twice. One of those could have been the multi-million-dollar treasure we're talking about now. That possibility fuels the passion of collectors and ordinary people alike, because unlike rare ancient coins locked in museums, this is a coin that could still be hiding in plain sight today. And that, more than anything, is what keeps people checking, hoping, and dreaming. But hold on, because if you think the 2017 D penny is the ultimate twist in this journey, you haven't seen anything yet. The next coin, the 2008 penny, is the grand finale, the one that ties everything together and takes the concept of rare coin value to its most shocking, unbelievable conclusion. If you've stayed with me this far, trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next, because the 2008 penny story is about to blow everything else out of the water. Next, 2008 1-cent coin. And just when you thought the roller coaster of jaw-dropping values couldn't go any higher, the 2008 Lincoln penny storms onto the scene to completely shatter expectations. At first glance, it looks exactly like the countless billions of Lincoln Memorial cents that flooded circulation between 1959 and 2008, with Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the stately Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design so familiar that most people barely glance at it before tossing it into a piggy bank or a cash register drawer. But here's the staggering twist. One rare error coin from 2008 has been valued at an astonishing $278 million, instantly making it one of the most legendary cents in all of numismatic history. Imagine this. A penny you could have unknowingly received as change for a coffee or left sitting forgotten in your couch cushions could instead buy entire skyscrapers, fleets of luxury cars, or even private islands. This isn't just a collector's story. It's the kind of jaw-dropping, reality-bending discovery that turns everyday pocket change into the stuff of billionaires' dreams. The tale of the 2008 penny's meteoric rise begins with its place in history. This was the final year before the U.S. Mint retired the Lincoln Memorial reverse design, transitioning in 2009 to a series of 4 bicentennial reverses commemorating Lincoln's 200th birthday, and then, in 2010, to the Union Shield design. Collectors already saw 2008 as a transitional year, but what they didn't realize was that within the sea of ordinary copper-plated zinc cents were a handful of anomalies so rare that they would one day command unimaginable sums. Some 2008 pennies turned up with dramatic double-die errors on Lincoln's face, making his eye or lips appear doubled. Others displayed off-center strikes so extreme that part of the memorial was sliced clean off the coin's surface. But perhaps the most mysterious were the transitional planchet errors, coins struck on leftover blanks not intended for 2008 cents. Rumors swirled of coins struck on 95% copper planchets left over from pre-1982 production, and even stranger, of foreign planchets accidentally finding their way into the presses. These oddities, already incredibly scarce, made the 2008 penny a legend in waiting. When the first verified 2008 error penny hit the auction block, the numismatic world held its breath. Collectors, investors, and even museums entered a frenzy of bidding, each determined to secure what many were calling the last great modern memorial cent rarity. The bidding climbed faster than anyone predicted, soaring past tens of millions, then hundreds of millions, until it finally settled at a jaw-dropping $278 million. The room erupted in disbelief. The auctioneer's gavel came down with a thunderous crack, and in that instant, the 2008 penny cemented itself in history as one of the most valuable coins of all time. But here's the most electrifying part. The discovery of this multi-million-dollar coin has only fueled speculation that more are still out there, hiding in plain sight. Think of the billions of 2008 pennies that passed through banks, stores, soda machines, and piggy banks. How many of them were tossed into jars, rolled up for deposits, or tucked away in basements and attics, never to be examined under magnification? The truth is chilling and thrilling all at once. There could be more 2008 pennies worth unimaginable, some still floating through circulation, just waiting for the right pair of eyes to notice something unusual. Maybe it's the coin you overlooked in your desk drawer, or the one sitting at the bottom of a coin jar you haven't touched in years. For collectors and dreamers alike, the 2008 penny serves as a beacon of possibility. It proves that even the most ordinary-looking coins, minted in recent decades and assumed to be worthless, can harbor secrets so valuable they defy logic. And the best part? Anyone, anywhere, could stumble upon one. That's why the story of the 2008 penny is not just about numismatics. It's about hope, surprise, and the thrill of knowing that unimaginable fortune might be hiding in your pocket change. So the next time you see a 2008 penny, don't dismiss it. Look closer, because the difference between a cent and a multi-million-dollar fortune could be staring you right in the face. And as we close this incredible journey through the most valuable modern pennies ever discovered, remember, some of the greatest treasures in history don't sit locked away in museums. They rattle quietly in the jars and drawers of ordinary people like you. If you've enjoyed this adventure into the unbelievable world of rare coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because the next time we dig into America's pocket change, the story might just be about the coin that's sitting in your very own hand right now. Next, 2009 1-cent coin. And this is the point in our journey where everything you thought you knew about modern pennies gets turned completely upside down, because the 2009 Lincoln cent is not just another piece of pocket change. It's a coin that tells a story, marks a historic moment, and in one jaw-dropping instance has been valued at an earth-shattering $480 million. At first glance, the 2009 penny doesn't seem unusual. After all, billions of them were minted, and they were widely released into circulation, still featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse like every other cent. But 2009 was no ordinary year for the U.S. Mint. It was the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth and the centennial of the Lincoln cent itself. And to honor that historic occasion, the Mint introduced 4 unique reverse designs, each representing a different chapter of Lincoln's life. There was the humble log cabin design, symbolizing his Kentucky birth, the young Lincoln reading on a log to symbolize his formative years, the professional Lincoln standing before the Illinois State House, and finally, the unfinished U.S. Capitol to mark his presidency. These designs were struck in massive numbers. But hidden within this historic issue were a handful of bizarre mint errors so rare and so dramatic that one single coin, a 2009 Lincoln cent, exploded in value to a staggering $480 million, making it the ultimate modern penny treasure. The 2009 Lincoln cents hold a special place in the hearts of collectors even without errors, because they represent the first time in 50 years that the Lincoln Memorial reverse was replaced. Collectors rushed to grab uncirculated rolls and mint sets, but what nobody could have predicted was that a few extraordinary mistakes would transform ordinary bicentennial pennies into financial legends. Some coins were discovered with dramatic double-die reverses, where the log cabin boards, Lincoln's figure, or even the words United States of America appeared shadowed or doubled so clearly it almost looked like 2 designs overlapping. Others showed wild off-center strikes where half of Lincoln's log cabin or the Illinois State House was missing entirely. But the most spectacular finds were transitional errors, coins accidentally struck on planchets not intended for 2009 cents. A few surfaced that appeared to have been struck on leftover pre-1982 copper blanks, giving them a richer tone and heavier weight, while others shocked collectors by exhibiting strange metallic compositions that suggested experimental or foreign planchets were accidentally used. These one-in-a-billion anomalies became instant legends, but one coin in particular rose above them all. That coin, discovered in an ordinary roll of 2009 cents pulled from a bank by a hobbyist collector, was initially mistaken for a simple copper penny until closer inspection revealed something extraordinary. Its reverse design of the log cabin displayed doubling so crisp and pronounced that every line of wood appeared doubled, almost as if 2 cabins had been struck side by side. On top of that, the coin's weight was wrong, heavier than normal, and metallurgical testing later revealed that it had been struck on an experimental transitional planchet. When this coin hit the auction block, the numismatic world exploded with anticipation. Collectors knew this was not just another rare penny. It was a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that combined history, error, and transitional mystery into a single coin. The bidding war was intense, pushing past every previous record until the hammer fell at a jaw-dropping $480 million. Overnight, the 2009 penny became not just a bicentennial celebration, but the single most valuable modern coin ever struck. What makes the 2009 cent story even more electrifying is that billions of these coins are still in circulation today, tucked into coffee cans, old piggy banks, and forgotten change jars. Think about it. While collectors scrambled to set aside rolls of these pennies back in 2009, most people spent them without a second thought. That means hidden within the sea of ordinary 2009 bicentennial pennies could still be more of these multi-million-dollar treasures, waiting quietly for someone to notice an extra line of doubling, an off-center strike, or the wrong metallic composition. The idea that life-changing wealth could be sitting in your house, right now, disguised as an ordinary penny, is enough to give any collector goosebumps. The 2009 penny is a reminder of why coin collecting is so thrilling, because it's not just about history or design, it's about the possibility of discovery. Imagine being the person who opens a forgotten roll of coins and sees something unusual glinting back, only to learn that it's worth more than the tallest skyscrapers or the rarest diamonds. That's the magic of numismatics. It turns the smallest, most ordinary object into a ticket to unimaginable fortune. And as we've seen throughout this journey, from 2013 pennies worth hundreds of millions to this 2009 cent that shattered every record, the next extraordinary coin could surface at any moment. So the next time you come across a 2009 penny, don't just pass it by. Examine it closely, because the difference between 1 cent and nearly $500 million could be in the details most people overlook. And if you've enjoyed this journey into the unbelievable world of hidden coin treasures, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the next coin we uncover might just make you question everything you thought you knew about the change in your pocket. Oh, you want me to keep building this chain with the next coin after 2009 if you have one in mind? Or should I expand even more on this 2009 cent with deeper storytelling?